start with a comfortable seat on our mat, cross-legged position in the center of our mat. And allowing the backs of your hands to rest gently on your knees. Allow your eyes to flutter closed if you wish. Turning your attention inward, focusing on your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Taking a deep inhale through your nose, holding the breath at the top, taking an extra sip of breath, and then with an open mouth, exhale. Just let it all out. Let's do that again. Inhaling through your nose, hold at the top of the breath, take an extra sip in, and then open mouth, exhale. Last time, let's inhale through the nose, hold at the top of the breath, extra sip, inhale, and then open mouth, exhale. Just let it all out. Bringing your hands to heart center, palms touching, and Anjali Mudra. Just setting your intention for this morning's class, dedicating your class to yourself or someone else. And then on our next inhale, sweeping our arms overhead, palms touch together, lifting through the rib cage, lengthening through the side body. Slight tuck in the chin, lengthening through the back of the neck, interlacing our hands, flipping our palms up towards the sky, giving our hands a nice stretch, bringing our biceps back by our ears, opening through the chest, releasing your hands and grabbing your right wrist with your left hand and leaning over towards the left-hand side, allowing your right palm to face upward, and just lengthen through your right side body. Coming back up to neutral, switching hands here, grabbing your left wrist with your right hand, lengthening tall, pressing your left palm up toward the sky, and then tilting over to the right side, lengthening through the left side body, biceps by the ears, lengthening as you inhale, and as you exhale, deepening into your bend. Coming back up to a neutral position, allow your arms to float back down towards your mat. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Bringing your chin to your chest. And then interlacing your hands behind your head. And without pulling on your head and neck, just allow the weight of your hands to deepen the stretch here. Feeling a nice stretch in the back of your neck. Breathing here. Breathing into any tight spaces that you feel. Keeping your interlaced hands behind your head, bringing your elbows toward one another. And as you inhale, open your elbows wide, gazing up at the sky, opening through your chest. And then exhale, chin is tucked, bringing your elbows back toward one another. Inhale, elbows open out wide, gazing up at the sky, open your chest. And exhale, tucking the chin, bringing the elbows back toward one another. Releasing your hands back down towards your lap, lifting your gaze. And then allow your left ear to move towards your left shoulder, giving a nice stretch on the side of your neck. And if you wish, allowing your left hand to rest gently on your head and extending your opposite arm, straightening your opposite arm, palm is flexed towards your mat. That just helps to give our neck a nice stretch here. And again, just allowing the weight of your left hand to rest gently on your head. Turning your chin towards your left shoulder, just giving your neck a nice your right palm, straightening your right arm, flexing through your right hand. Notice that stretch deepening here. And then releasing your left hand from your head, bringing your chin back to your chest. And then allowing your right ear to move towards your right shoulder. Taking the stretch on the opposite side, bringing your right hand to your head, and then straightening your left arm. Palm is flexed, pressing through the heel of your hand toward the floor. And just allow the weight of your right hand to stretch the side of your neck without pulling or forcing. And turning your chin towards your right shoulder. Feeling the stretch in a different way. Breathing here, sending your breath to the tight spaces that you feel here this morning. Releasing your right hand from your head, bringing your chin back towards your chest. Bringing both hands to your knees. Pressing into your sit bones, sitting up tall, and bringing your gaze back to neutral, straight ahead of you. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears. And bringing your left foot on top of your right thigh. We're just going to give ourselves a little foot love this morning. They did a lot for us yesterday. So we're going to interlace our fingers into each toe. So like we're holding hands with our foot. So really getting your fingers down to the webbing in between your toes and contracting and expanding your fingers in between your toes, creating space between each toe. And then pulling your toes towards you and pressing them away and circling them around, whatever feels good for you today. Our feet did a lot for us yesterday. They kept us on our skis. They kept us upright. Most of us managed to stay on our skis yesterday.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. So our feet deserve a little gratitude for that. And when you're ready, just popping your fingers out of your toes, and with a loose fist, gently tapping the bottom of your foot. Coming to stillness here, and then taking your two thumbs, starting at your heel, and gently massaging, making outward small circles all the way up your arch, all the way through the ball of your foot to your big toe, and then making your way back down through the sole of your foot, just small little circles. Giving your pinky toe a little pull, giving each toe a little pull here. And then grabbing your foot with your right hand and your knee with your left hand, or if you feel like your hips are open, you can put your foot in the crook of your elbow and the knee in the other crook, interlacing your hands, and you're going to begin to rock your leg like a baby. Rocking back and forth, keeping your foot flexed to protect your knee. Allow your hips to open up here, just rocking your foot like a little baby. And then coming to stillness, bringing your foot and knee back to your hand if it was in the crook of your neck. And we're just going to hold our calf, and we're just going to shake our foot. Allow your foot to just be loose, just to shake it out, allowing the synovial fluid to move to the ankle joint. We're just going to let our foot kind of shake here. And then bringing your body to stillness. Bringing that leg that you were just holding behind you, coming into a staggered position, planting your right palm into your mat, and coming up onto your knees, getting a nice side stretch here, flipping your top palm up and over, reaching toward the wall, feeling a nice
on one knee, Jackie?
We're on 2 knees.
Oh.
So we were in a staggered position, and then we pressed into our palm, came up on our knees. A nice side stretch here. And opening your top arm back away from you, opening up through your chest. And then bringing your top bicep by your ear and reaching your fingertips toward the wall. Lengthening through your side body, and then coming back down to a seated position. And we're going to give our other foot a little love, so coming into a cross-legged position, and then bringing your right foot on top of your left thigh, interlacing your fingers in between your toes, really getting down to the webbing. And maybe you'll notice that it's harder on this side, and that's okay. And just begin to expand and contract your fingers, creating space in each toe. It's going to help us with our balance today. Just renewing our feet. And go ahead and pull your toes towards you and press them away and circle them around. Keeping your fingers right down to the webbing in between your toes. Just whatever your feet need this morning, whatever feels good. When you're ready, popping your fingers out, and with a loose fist, gently tapping at the bottom of your foot. Coming to stillness here and preparing to massage our feet, bringing our 2 thumbs to the inner arch of our foot, and just with small outside circles, circling to the outside, just gently massage up from the heel through the arch, up through the ball of the foot to the big toe, and then back down through the sole of the foot, making that small circles with our thumbs. And then giving our pinky toe a little pull, moving from one toe to the other, just giving a little pull here. Preparing to rock our leg, bringing our foot to the crook of our elbow or to our hand and our knee into the opposite hand, and just begin to rock your leg like a little baby. Allowing your right hip to open up. Coming to stillness, holding your calf, and just give your foot a shake. Allow your foot to be loose, shaking it here, allowing the synovial fluid to move to your ankle. If you had any ankle pain yesterday or today, and then coming into a staggered position, bringing that leg behind you, planting your left palm on your mat to the outside of your left thigh, and coming up on that palm and your knees, reaching your opposite arm up towards the sky, fingers pointed towards the ceiling, pressing through your right hip, feeling a nice stretch in your hip flexor, sweeping your top bicep by your ear, reaching for the wall to your left. Feeling a nice side stretch here. Gazing down at your mat or up at your hand, whatever feels good for your neck today. Bringing your top fingertips back up towards the ceiling and opening up, allowing your top shoulder to open up, pressing your arm back behind you, just allowing your top arm to open up here. Rotating your thumb toward the back of the room. Just feel a nice stretch there. Coming back down on your mat. Turning to face the top walking your hands as far away from you as you can. Giving yourself a nice stretch here, coming up on tippy fingers, and walking over to your left side. Walking over as far to your left as you can, placing your right palm on top of your left, allowing your head to hang in between your biceps, and just feeling a nice stretch on the right-hand side here. Coming back up onto your tippy fingers, walking back through center, toward the right side, placing your left palm on top of your right, allowing your head to hang in between your arms, feeling a nice stretch in your left side body. And coming back onto your tippy fingers, walking back to center, and walking your hands towards your shins, coming back to an upright seated position. Extending your legs out in front of you. And so for those of you who don't know, our sit bones, if you feel right in the meat of your gluteal, you'll feel this little hard bone here. You'll have it on both sides. Those are called our sit bones because why? We sit on them. So bringing your right leg, pointing toward the right top corner of your mat, and bringing your left leg in. So bringing the sole of your left leg to press up against the inner right thigh. So our right leg is sort of at a diagonal to our top right corner. And we're going to pull our glute back away from us to really sit on our right sit bone. So we really want to feel that sit bone rooted into the mat. And rotating your chest towards your right leg, inhaling your arms overhead, and on the exhale, folding forward, reaching for your toes, reaching for your ankle or your shin, wherever you are today. And just allowing your breath to deepen this pose as you inhale, lengthening through your spine, and as you exhale, hinging deeper. To breathe in and out, deepening and lengthening. Tucking your chin slightly to keep your neck long. Feeling a nice stretch here, staying flexed through your right foot, and just allowing your head to hang. Allow your right ear to move towards your right shoulder like a grape on a stem. No stress, no tension in our neck. And then allow your top arm to pull you back up to a seated position. Switching the legs, extending the left leg to the top left corner, bringing the right sole of the foot in toward the inner thigh, pressing right up against the inner thigh. Pulling your glutes back, rooting down on your left sit bone, rotating your chest so that you're over your left leg, inhaling your arms up overhead, lengthening through your spine, and as you exhale, hinging forward over your left leg. Allowing your hands to fall on your shin or grabbing your ankle or your toes or placing your hands on either side of your left leg on the mat, whatever feels good for you. Allowing your breath to deepen this pose as you inhale, lengthening through your spine, and as you exhale, hinge lengthen and deepen, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Long, slow, mindful breath. Keeping our chin slightly tucked to lengthen through the back of the neck. And then bringing both hands to the inside of the left leg. Bringing the left forearm and elbow right up against the inner thigh of our left leg. Inhaling your right arm up overhead and using your elbow and your forearm to press against your inner thigh as you rotate your chest up towards the sky. Reaching with your top fingers towards your toes, lengthening through the side body. Allowing your head to be soft. Allowing your left ear to move towards your left shoulder, hanging like a grape on a stem. Staying rooted through your right sit bone as you lengthen through your right side body. And on your next inhalation, allow your top arm to pull you back up to standing. Crossing your legs once again. And then rolling over your legs, coming into a tabletop position. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, stacking your hips over your knees. Fingers are spread wide. Preparing for our cat-cow position. As you inhale, allow your belly button to move toward the floor, chest open, gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, rounding your back, pressing away from your hands like a Halloween cat. Inhaling, belly drop, chest open, gaze lift. Pressing into the knuckles with your hands, and exhale, rounding like a Halloween cat. And go ahead and allow your breath to guide your own movement at your own pace, whatever you need, however fast or slow you wish to go this morning. It's up to you. This is your practice. Feeling a nice stretch through the front body as you inhale and arch your back. And taking one more round of breath wherever you are here before returning to a neutral spine position back into tabletop. Tucking your toes under, pressing your hips up, coming into our first down dog. Pedaling your heels out, pressing them down towards the mat. Coming to stillness, coming up onto the balls of your feet. And on your next exhalation, sinking your heels down toward the mat, melting your forehead towards your shins. And just shake your head no, nod your head yes. Sweeping your right leg behind you and stepping it in between your hands, coming into a low lunge here. Hands frame the front foot, gazing out just beyond your mat, keeping your neck long. Planting your left palm to the inside of your front foot and reaching your right fingertips up towards the sky, taking this nice twist here. Keeping your back knee off the mat, or if you wish, you can bring it down to the mat. It's a little bit easier, whatever you feel like today. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to take a half bind, tucking your top arm back behind you, reaching for an imaginary pocket, and allowing your top shoulder to draw away from your ears as your hips sink toward the mat. Coming out of your bind, reaching your fingertips back up toward the sky, and then framing your front foot once again. Stepping your right foot back to meet the left, coming into plank position, top of a push-up. Energetic leap. Bringing your wrist towards your toes and your toes towards your wrist, engaging your core. Pressing yourself back to down dog. Pedaling out your heels. And then coming to stillness, sweeping your left leg back behind you and stepping it in between your hands. Coming into low lunge on the other side. Pressing through your back heel, walking your back toes back a little bit further, really lengthening through your back leg. Pressing through your heel. Now planting your right palm on the inside of your front leg, on the inside of your front foot, and reaching your left fingertips up toward the sky. Palm facing away from you, pressing into your right hand to lift out of your right shoulder. If you'd like to take a half bind here, tucking your top arm back behind you, reaching for that imaginary back pocket. Allow your top shoulder to draw away from your ears. Allow your hips to sink deeper, and allow your right ear to move towards your right shoulder. No strain in the neck. Releasing your half bind, reaching your fingertips back up towards the sky, and framing your front foot once again. Stepping your right foot up to meet the left, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Fingertips reaching toward the floor. Making tiny little fists with your hands and allowing them to sit in the crypts of your elbows. And just beginning to sway from side to side here. Chin is slightly tucked. And then releasing your fingertips back down toward the mat, coming deeper into your forward fold. Shaking your head no, nodding your head yes. Bringing your palms to your shins, lengthening your spine, pressing the crown of your head into an imaginary wall in front of you. Keeping your chin slightly tucked, and on the exhale, folding deeper into your forward fold. Bringing your hands to your hips, and with a flat back, pressing into your feet, coming all the way up to standing. Inhaling your shoulders by your ears, rotating them down your back. Standing tall and proud in your mountain pose. Bringing your hands to heart center. Shifting your weight back on your heels. Lifting your toes off the mat. Spreading them wide, and then placing them down one by one on your mat. And then finding a nice neutral position in your feet. Bringing all of your weight to your left foot, coming up on the ball of your right foot. Rotating your knee out to the side. And when you're ready, coming into our tree pose, placing the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg, avoiding the knee joint. We want to be able to see today, so no pressure on the joint. Bringing the sole of your foot to your calf or to your inner thigh. Pressing everything in toward the midline. You feel steady in your tree.
No.
Feel free to let your branches grow. And if you fall out, no big deal. Just get back in. If your branches have grown, bringing your palms back together, palms back to heart center. And when you're ready, mindfully coming out of your tree, bringing both feet together, and just shake it out. Shaking out your hands, shaking out your legs, and let it all go. Coming back to our mountain pose, hands together at heart center, big toes together, slight space in the heels, about the size of a quarter. Bringing all of the weight to your right foot and coming up on the ball of your left foot. Rotating your left knee out toward the left, and when you're ready, placing the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg, avoiding the knee joint. Pressing everything in toward the midline. And if you fall out of your tree, no big deal. Just get back in. You feel steady in your tree, allowing your branches to grow high. Breathing here. Holding your breath does not give you better balance. Bringing your palms back together if your branches have grown. Bringing your hands back to heart center. And when you're ready, coming out of your tree slowly and mindfully, shaking it all out. Shaking your arms, shaking your legs, just let it all go. Turning and facing me now. And lining up your heels with the long side of your mat. And so your feet want to be about the distance of one of your legs. So your legs are, depending on how tall you are, that's going to vary from person to person. And we're going to rotate our right toes toward the short end of our mat, rotating them toward the right side. And we're going to pigeon toe our left toes in slightly. And some people feel like the towels are a little bit slippery, so if you feel like you have better traction on the carpet, feel free to move there. Interlacing your hands behind you, allowing your chest to open up. Allow your knuckles to draw down toward the earth. And then bending into your right leg. Bending into your right knee, so your right leg is creating a 90-degree angle. Keeping your chest open, releasing your hands, coming into a T position with your arms, coming into warrior two. Noticing if your right knee is tracking over your last two toes, your pinky toe, and if you notice that your knee is sort of moving forward, just take your right hand and press your knee back so that it tracks over the last two toes of your feet. This allows your hips to open up and pressing into the outside edges of both feet. Tucking your tailbone and sinking deeper into your warrior two. Now straightening your front leg, pressing into your big right toe, keeping your arms in a T position. Sliding your rib cage over toward the right side like you're reaching for something. And then allow your right hand to find your right shin, allowing your top fingertips to reach toward the sky, coming into our triangle position. Pressing into your big right toe, allowing your head to hang here. Slight bend in the knee, don't block out your knee. And then allow your top arm to pull you back up. Pigeon toeing both feet in toward one another, preparing for our forward fold, bringing your hands to your hips, lengthening tall, pressing into your feet, and folding forward. Reaching your hands down toward the mat. Breathing here. And feel free to move in this pose. If you want to bend one leg as you straighten the other, just move it around. Just allowing your body to stretch out and feel good. And then coming to stillness and walking your hands out in front of you so that they walk off of your mat. And then push away from your hands. So we're coming into a wide-legged down dog. And this is a great hamstring calf stretch. Sometimes in regular down dog, it's difficult for us to get our heels all the way to the mat. So this is a great modification for a down dog. yes. Releasing the tension in your cervical spine. And then walking your hands back to center, pressing into your feet, bringing your hands to your hips with a flat back, come all the way up to standing. We're going to do our warrior and our triangle on the other side, so keeping your legs wide, rotating your left toes toward the short side of your mat, and pigeon-toeing your right toes in slightly. Interlacing your hands behind you, squeezing your shoulder blades together, opening your chest, allowing your knuckles to move toward the earth. Bending into your left leg, creating a 90-degree angle in your left leg. Pressing into the outside edges of your feet, allowing your hips to open up here. Keeping your chest open, releasing your fingers, coming into a T position with your arms. Turning to gaze over the middle finger of your left hand. Sinking deeper into your warrior two. If your mind begins to wander, so say to yourself, I am a strong warrior. Breathing here. And then straightening your left leg, preparing for our triangle pose. Sliding your rib cage over to the left side, reaching with your left fingertips, and then allow your left hand to find your left shin as your right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Tucking your tailbone, tucking your pelvis, allowing your top shoulder to open up here. Allowing your head to hang. Your left ear moves towards your left shoulder. No tension in the head and neck today. And then allowing your top arm to pull you back up to standing. Pigeon-toeing your feet once again, preparing for our wide-legged forward fold, bringing your hands to your hips, lengthening through your spine, and hinging forward here. Allowing your hands to find the mat, and rotating your fingers so that they point back behind you, and walking your hands behind you off the mat, pressing into your feet, pressing into the outside edges. Allow the crown of your head to move closer towards your mat, and just breathing here. Feeling your sit bones begin to spread as you press into the outside edges of your feet. And then walking your hands back to neutral, and then coming to find a comfortable seat on your mat. Bringing your head to the top of your mat, lying on your back. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the mat, knees pointing up toward the sky. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, and reaching for the outside edges of your feet, sending the soles of your feet up toward the sky, opening your knees wide and sinking them low into your armpits, coming into happy baby. Pressing through your heels, and begin to move in and out of one-legged baby. So bending your right leg as you straighten the left, and bending your left leg as you straighten the right, and just moving in and out of these poses here. Just giving your hamstrings a nice stretch. Coming into full happy baby, both feet pressed up towards the sky. Lengthening through your tailbone, pressing the small of your back into the mat, tucking your chin slightly to keep your neck long, and then guiding the soles of your feet toward one another. Grabbing a hold of your feet, interlacing your fingers around your feet, bringing the heels in toward your groin as you allowing your eyes to close. Allowing your top piece to separate from your bottom piece. Allowing your tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth. Allow the space between your eyebrows to soften. And just breathe. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing life back into your body. Sweeping your arms up overhead and stretching as if for the first time today. Rolling over onto one side, bringing your knees in towards your chest, using your bottom arm as a pillow for your head. Coming into fetal position, our very first yoga pose. Give yourself a moment here. And then when you're ready, gently pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands together, heart center. Joining me in a closing Om if you'd wish. Exhaling all of the breath from your lungs, and then taking a deep inhale. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your practice this morning. The best in me bows the best in all of you. Bringing your thumb knuckle to your third eye center, hinging forward. Namaste. Thanks so much, everyone. Yoga class. Yeah, well, and you can also find me on YouTube. I just created a YouTube channel called Blind Yogi, so you can search it, and I'll be posting some of these classes, actually. So it'll be fun. Yeah, Blind Yogi, and you can contact me at blindyogi@gmail.com with any comments or requests. I'm going to send my current yoga teacher there for some tips. Yeah. I'm not kidding you guys. How to properly cue.
I went to a yoga class.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Stuff at the end. Yes, really